And we will make those available this afternoon on 2 places. The Shasta Hanchet website.
Okay, wait. It's www.shipna.org. shpna.org.
It's in the big packet too.
It's in the big packet.
Yes.
They're shooting the flasher.
What is it?
Shasta Hanchet Park Neighborhood Association.
Ellen? It will also be on delmospark.com.
Thank you.
delmospark.com. We'll do that right after this meeting.
And downtown residents will also have it on their site.
I just wanted to give some kudos to the folks who worked on the Good Neighbor Committee and help you all realize that it wasn't just residential neighbors that were on the committee. We had representatives from labor, Chamber of Commerce, local business owners, developers, environmental advocacy groups, and the transit agency, including High Speed Rail and VTA. And what's I think is pretty amazing about that is that these recommendations that come out have the unanimous agreement and approval of all of those bodies. So we're taking these on December 7th to the mayor and council for their acceptance, and then they will become part of the formal guidance to the city and to us bureaucrats about how we should move forward. And so I think it's a pretty extraordinary accomplishment, and I want to give credit to Bill and Pete and Ellen.
Mark was part-timer.
Yeah.
I'm 40 hours a week.
And Richard.
We're ready.
Okay, I'm really curious, and I would like it to be in writing from the City Redevelopment Agency. At the worst case scenario, what kind of money are we talking about relocating all these businesses that need to go away? I mean, at the worst case scenario, how many dollars would that be to relocate every single business that may need to go away for the ballpark?
Okay, so the question is, you want to capture the total cost of the RDA's involvement in
the relocation costs of
Relocation
businesses
costs.
that will be
Okay.
displaced.
And I don't think we have an answer for that, and we are going to capture that one.
Does that go here or there?
You guys can take charge.
I'm marking
You
it.
can be the
I'm
dueling
making
pen.
you
You
suggestions,
can
I'll
also
take
piggyback
questions.
on that, the realignment of items, whether they're at the ballpark here. You're paying money to relocate those businesses.
Right. As far as I know, within the document of the environmental impact report, the realignment of Autumn was in the environmental report. So that will be considered as part of the project. But again, there's the cost associated with the realignment of Autumn.
The realignment of Autumn, though, it is in the works regardless of whether there is a ballpark.
Right.
But there's still a cost.
Yes.
And that cost is probably public when you get there.
Yes.
Okay, our question is, how is it going to affect our property taxes?
Good question.
Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down?
Assessments.
up or down.
So I can answer that question based on, so San Jose did an economic report in 2007 when this stadium was first being talked about, and it's called Neighborhood Impact Report or something like that. The city doesn't talk about it because it wasn't very friendly to the stadium. One of the conclusions it made, analyzed property values in San Francisco around AT&T Park, analyzed property values in 4 or 5 other cities where the baseball stadiums, and found no effect on resident property values. They didn't go up, they didn't go down. No effect.
I did an online search for reports, and there may be more, but there's not that many publicly available economic impact studies. I found one from Arizona that said there was a positive 1% impact. I'm sure there have been areas where the positive impact was higher or the negative impact was higher, but I haven't found a lot.
There's also no distinguishing whether they're, for AT&T, the land around it was slum. It was completely bad. And then they completely put in brand new housing, right? So we're talking about something different here. There's already existing housing with existing property prices. And so the effect, I don't know where there could be an economic impact study of an area that's trying to wedge something like this in and not in an
You're looking for
area
comparable impacts,
Yeah.
economic impact of comparable cities. Okay.
So just the San Jose report, I mean, there is not much information around the San Jose study in comparing property values around AT&T Park. Did compare it to comparable property in the rest of San Francisco.
Will that bring up our value somewhat?
San Jose, won't go down.
Right, but the property tax will put
And then-
about the value of our house though. No.
It's the same. Taxes are tied to the value.
Okay.
Okay, so the value, would the value of our property be lower because of how loud it is?
Eloy.
Okay.
I have a question. So the city has some budget problems, and there is a memo from Hans Larsen, who is the acting director of transportation, and one of the things that he says should be reduced or eliminated because there's no money is studies of cut-through traffic and truck traffic will not occur for the excessive traffic. So basically people cutting through our neighborhood, it won't be studied anymore.
You're talking about traffic calming.
No, this is just a study to see if there's any cut-through traffic to our neighborhoods. And then also the neighborhood parking intrusion program, studies for new or expanded residential permit parking zones will not occur. So that's just because the city doesn't have money for that anymore. So who's going to protect us?
You got that?
So,
A lot of that's under the traffic calming program, and that was the last round of budget cuts that gone. Yes, ma'am.
Helen, I'm curious why the MLB is considered a site where we will have the most home runs in here. Why we're limited by height, we're limited by taking down because of the water table, we can't spread out because of what's here. Why are they interested in the site?
It will actually make baseball worth watching. Something happens.
Is that a lot of room for parking?
I can't speak for MLB, so I don't know. We'll capture the question. Keep it, we have representatives from the city manager's office and read it over and back there, so I'm sure will internalize some of those questions and bring it back. Okay, who hasn't asked a question yet?
I have an answer to that question. My guess is that we continue to treat planes, automobiles, and every possible form of transportation.
Okay.
Can I tie back into that with a question about how the infrastructure of existing mass transit impacts what's going on in terms of where the entrances are in relation to Diridon?
That's a good.
I'm sure some of that's in this report. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Is the question how does the ballpark affect current mass transit and mass transit plans, or is the question where are the
Basically, the question is, do we get a handshake between the two that will help reduce the impact of automobile traffic by shifting a good portion of that load to the mass transit system? That's
Yes.
free shuttles, free buses, free
that we can
discount train
address.
tickets.
In fact, on Thursday there's an editorial in the Mercury News by Helen and Michelle Beasley about this area specifically, but also that this ballpark, from day one, there was a very big push and very heated discussions on the Diridon Committee Group over the last 15 months over the degree to which we will try to push people out of cars for this stadium in particular. And the plan, the area where we're standing, the BART station that is proposed, BART is breaking ground next year to come to Milpitas and Berryessa. By about 2017-18, we will be able to go from light rail to BART to Oakland, etc. It would be more like 2025 before we have BART downtown here. And that station would be over underground in front of the pavilion. High-speed rail would also be in this area out here where the existing Caltrain is. You have the ACE trains, Amtrak, and Caltrain currently, and you have light rail. So you have the potential, conceivably, for 6 types of transit. But there's been really heated discussion about how much can you push people out of cars to do this, and obviously...
I have a comment, I have an answer, basically. In San Francisco, when they were at Candlestick Park, the Giants, 96% of fans came by car. It's now down to 48%, and they have far fewer lines than Diridon has. They have Caltrain and they have the street rail. It's now down to 48%. You will not see a visible parking lot from that ballpark. San Jose has a lot more going for it as far as the train station. But yet, I haven't heard any questions today about anyone's saying about mass transit or whatever. We could do even better than that, bring less than 45% to cars. Because right now, I'll guarantee you, the Sharks are at 96%, and on an average game, they may get 200 people arrive by Caltrain. That is unacceptable for being right across the street from a major train station. So
That's very good. That was one of the big pushbacks from the committee, was to raise the percentage of people taking public transportation, to increase that, so that we have less people taking cars, therefore less need for parking and so that would be a natural mitigation. Now, the other question too about the other transportation system is high-speed rail. That alignment has not been decided as to where high-speed rail. There was a meeting just 2 nights ago talking about aerial versus underground. The direction high-speed rail is going right now, aerial, but they haven't decided exactly yet where that aerial alignment will go. And one of the deciding factors on that alignment choosing could be the position of the baseball stadium. So transportation has to work in conjunction with development of this area.
I was just going to make a suggestion, and maybe this is premature, but rather than discussing it in terms of pushing people out of their cars, making it unaffordable to not come by public transportation.
All right, so the question is, rather than push people out of cars, how do you make it unaffordable? What does it cost to park at the Giants? 24 to 50 bucks, depending on where you're at.
34 bucks.
But if you even offered a cheaper ticket, if people could produce some kind of documentation to show that they came using public transportation.
So you're saying a benefit to use public transportation goes back to the ticket holder rather than...
Exactly. So that because people are lazy, they're going to
a further comment on that, in San Francisco, if you buy season tickets, they will give you the equivalent of an eco pass to ride the system. It's not just the fact of parking, but they have whole programs to get people to use public transit, less of an impact on the neighborhood.
To the public. Yeah. Use public transportation for the
One of
public.
the Sharks are considered a model nationally for one particular thing, which is the degree to which the city has been able to get people to park downtown and walk and use the restaurants downtown and not merely drive to the game and then drive home without dropping money in the city.
That wasn't the city, that was the Shasta Hampton Park neighborhood that forced the city